You open your banking app right now. A number sits there, glowing, telling you exactly how much you're worth. You've spent your entire life trusting that number, buying, saving, worrying, dreaming around it. But here's the real answer, and it's way stranger than you think. That number isn't real. It never was. Money is the most successful hallucination human beings have ever agreed to share. Let's go back, way back, before coins, before paper, before banks, before anything you'd recognize as currency. For most of human history, there was no money at all. Anthropologist David Graeber spent years studying pre-monetary societies and found something that surprises almost everyone. The popular story you were taught, that money was invented to replace clumsy barter where a farmer trades a chicken for shoes, is largely a myth. Economists repeat it in textbooks. Anthropologists who actually studied these societies almost never found it happening the way the story describes.
So what actually happened before money? Debt, obligation, memory. In small communities, people simply remembered who owed what to whom. You give your neighbor grain during a bad harvest, they remember. Next season, they help repair your roof. Nobody wrote it down because everybody already knew. Trust itself was the currency. Your reputation was your bank account. This worked because everyone knew everyone. But what happens when you need to trade with a stranger, someone from another village, someone who might vanish before ever repaying you? Trust breaks down at scale. And that's the actual origin of money. Not convenience, not efficiency. A solution to a trust problem between people who will probably never see each other again. The first materials used as money are almost comically strange by modern standards. On the Micronesian island of Yap, giant carved limestone discs called rye stones served as currency, some too enormous to move at all. Villagers simply agreed who owned which stone, even if it sat at the bottom of a lagoon. Ownership existed entirely as a shared belief, tracked by memory and consensus, not possession. Sound familiar? That's essentially what your bank balance is today, just faster and digital.
Cowrie shells circulated as money across parts of Africa and Asia for over 1,000 years. Salt was so valuable in the Roman world that soldiers were partially paid in it, which is where the word salary actually comes from. Cattle served as a universal unit of value in ancient societies from Africa to India, so foundational that the Latin word for money, pecunia, comes directly from pecus, meaning cattle. Notice the pattern. None of these things had value because you could eat them or use them for shelter. A giant stone you can't move gives you nothing practical. Their value existed purely because a group of people simultaneously agreed it did. Money isn't a physical thing. It's a belief system with really good marketing. Coins changed the game because they solved a specific problem: portability and divisibility. Ancient Lydia around 600 BCE is credited with minting some of the first standardized metal coins, stamped by a ruling authority to guarantee their weight and purity. This is the moment money stopped being just an agreement between neighbors and became backed by state power. If the king says this coin is worth something and the king controls the army, you tend to agree. Paper money took this abstraction even further. Early Chinese paper currency during the Tang and Song dynasties represented a promise, a claim on real goods stored somewhere else. You weren't holding value, you were holding a receipt for value. And here's where it gets genuinely wild. Modern money, the money in your banking app right now, isn't backed by gold, silver, or any physical commodity at all. Since the United States fully abandoned the gold standard in 1971, the value of $1 has been backed by exactly one thing: collective trust that other people will also accept it tomorrow.
Think about what that actually means. The number on your screen has value only because you believe your grocery store will accept it, and your grocery store believes its suppliers will accept it, and so on, an unbroken chain of belief stretching outward with no physical object anchoring any of it. Stop believing, and the number becomes exactly what it always secretly was: information with nothing underneath it. So what if money had never existed at all? Anthropological research on stateless societies suggests we wouldn't have avoided debt or trade. We would have simply kept using memory, reputation, and social obligation the way small communities did for the vast majority of human history. Large-scale trade with strangers, the kind that lets you buy a shirt made on the other side of the planet, likely wouldn't exist in anything like its current form. Trust doesn't scale to 8 billion strangers with some shared symbol to represent it. Here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. Every recession, every market crash, every moment where wealth seems to vanish overnight isn't really things disappearing.
It's millions of people simultaneously losing faith in the same shared hallucination at the same time. The stock market doesn't collapse because objects break. It collapses because belief does. And every time you swipe a card, tap your phone, or check that glowing number in your banking app, you're not interacting with something solid. You're participating in the longest-running trust exercise in human history, one that started with a neighbor remembering a favor, and somehow scaled all the way up to a global economy running on numbers that exist nowhere except in shared agreement. The next time you worry about that number, remember what it actually is. Not stone, not metal, not paper anymore. Just a story 8 billion people have agreed to keep telling each other, together, one transaction at a time.